Hey now, hey now, hey now. We are live and in color. So guys, my window unit's running over here. So if you can hear it, let me know. Hopefully it's not too much of a distraction. But I have stacks and stacks and stacks of movies tonight and other movies that I wrote down that I don't own, but I want to go through the gauntlet of found footage and talk about tons and tons of titles. Some that I love, some that I own, but I think are worth mentioning, even if I don't think they're great. I want input from you guys. Let's go for a strong hour and some change. Let's kick some ass tonight. I have taken a major break from going live because I get anxious about doing it sometimes, and it's something I'll get in swings of wanting to do, and then I want to stop, and I've just wanted to stop for a while, but I'm here tonight and I figured, what the hell, let's go for it and have a topic, have fun, no rules, but talk about one of the most incredible genres of film, quite frankly, which is found footage. And I stand by that because when a found footage film is done at a high level, there's really nothing like it. So let's say hello to everybody in the chat, and just know I'm found footage for life, son. There's my Blair Witch tattoo. All right, so John Kyle Stent, what's up, man? Magnus Stollis, Scatterbrain 614, Mike the Real Fifth Beatle, John McCullough, Jeff Overing, Donovan Davis, Justin Smith, Jay the Stingray, Magnus Stollis. Did I already say you? I did. Magnus is like, hurry the fuck up, dude. Nuclear, Fuzzin', what's going on? Anthony's Horror and More, how are you? Is it time, guys, to get started? I think I'm ready if you guys. Mark Chase, what's going on? Big Tubby, how the hell are you? So yeah, guys. Did I see the found footage phenomenon Shutterdoc? I did, Jeff, which is what inspired. That's what inspired this stream. I have been a big fan of the subgenre for many, many years, and I kind of get annoyed because it has a bad reputation. Because the thing, I guess for me, in my opinion, is with found footage, when it's done right, it's truly a remarkable subgenre. But when it's done piss poor, the lows are extremely low. And I think when people see some of those movies, they shit on the subgenre, and I guess I understand that, but it's kind of unfair if you ask me. So before we get to that, guys, I was going through my DVDs of stuff I have on my watch pile. I have two versions of Ed Gein. I have a Kane Hodder Ed Gein, and then I've got this other Ed Gein. I need to watch these. I've seen Kane Hodder's BTK movie, but here we have Kane Hodder's Ed Gein and another version starring Steve Railsback, is I guess who plays Ed Gein in this one. So maybe we should do like an Ed Gein comparison. What do you guys think? Pretty cool, huh? I've been digging DVDs lately. So I'm already seeing people talking about some titles they like, As Above, So Below. We're going to get to that. As someone who's not as well versed in obscure found footage flicks, I'm hoping to add some titles to my watch list tonight. Well, hopefully so. Big Tubby, thanks. Doing well. Thanks for asking. Absolutely. Those Gein movies stink. They probably do. I know that the Kane Hodder one is very, very humble. And let's be honest, it's starring Kane Hodder as an actor. And I'm not saying he can't act, but he's certainly never going to step on stage to win an Oscar or anything. So, are you guys ready? Let's just start plowing through some found footage titles. All right. Loop. Is that how you say it? Would Friday the 13th work as a found footage movie? I don't know. See, that's a very tough one. I assume if it was done very well, it could, but the thing about film footage is a lot of the really, really great ones are modestly made, and they're made with ingenuity and doing something new in the subgenre. And with Friday the 13th, to try to mix those elements could be very, 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 very difficult. I would assume that would be more of a more likely to be a disaster than anything. But that's not to say that it couldn't work. Anything can work if it's done with passion and not and trying to be not necessarily be a trendsetter, but doing something based on just having a really good idea for something. But to do it just because, let's say, found footage is really popular at the time, and then say Friday the 13th was going to do a found footage movie because the subgenre was popular at the time, I would say there would be a more than likely chance it would have been bad. But that's not to say that it 100%. It's just, I remember around 2014 or 2015, there was so much rumor and speculation and things on the internet. And I think that it was partially true that there was going to be a found footage Friday the 13th. And I remember doing videos on this, just on all the rumor and speculation, which that would have been very, very, man, could you imagine that? That's the thing. I can't imagine that. Does Halloween Resurrection count? Yeah, no, we're not going to count that. One found footage movie I didn't like was Quarantine. There's Jonathan Bombastic Reviews. Before the lawsuit of Found Footage Friday was greenlit. That's true. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Found footage films get shit on so hard because the point's to trick the audience into believing it's real. It's been done so much that nobody's fooled anymore, so it's hard to take serious. But that's something that the audience, as an audience viewer, you have to allow yourself to do. I think for me, I love to let myself get lost in movies. So I love to believe. I love to let go and try to believe this is real. That's what I love about horror, is like to get lost and be a part of the film with the characters. And that's why I love found footage. So, all right, we're going to get rolling. Thank you so much, Johnny Kyle. The Gallows in part 2 is Christian's favorite. You know what, Johnny? We're going to talk about the Gallows. So, it's actually in here. Are you guys ready? Let's start. Thank you so much, John. God bless. I appreciate that. The first movie in this stack, The Last Broadcast. This is the 101 Films release. And the reason I wanted to do a lot of the ones that I own on physical media is that way you guys can, if you're interested in picking any of these up, you can see it. So this is The Last Broadcast 101 Films release. So The Last Broadcast was the predecessor to it was a predecessor to the Blair Witch, but it did not get any of the notoriety. And my take on The Last Broadcast, without spoiling too much of it, because I don't want to spoil the movie for those that haven't seen. I'm already seeing some people say they haven't seen it. Please search it out. The last I checked, it was on Amazon Prime. I like the movie. I don't like the ending at all. And usually I don't care about the endings of movies, but this one felt like a bucket of cold water. But is it atmospheric? Is it creepy? I think so. So this is a gorgeous release that I was gifted from a good friend of mine. And if you're region free, check this out. But yeah, this is good stuff. What's up, Daniel Shine? Dan said he's got the Blu-ray for this coming soon. He said he's going to check it out soon. It's a gorgeous release. I really like it. So that's The Last Broadcast. Somebody asked if we were covering Lake Mungo yet. Francis, we just started. So that was the first title. So let's get started to the next one. So this is one of the most amazing films that nobody saw. And nobody saw this. I tried to show some of my friends this. They checked it out. And every one of my friends that I did tell about this film, they were like, that was good shit. Get ready. Amazon Prime this. Searching. Yes. Searching. Look at it. Now, this movie is what I was talking about. Ingenuity. Having an original idea. Using Skype. Apple FaceTime. Using those elements to tell a great story that works so well. The people that have seen Searching know what I'm talking about. This film was edge of your seat. This film was thrilling, compelling. This film was acted extremely well. John Cho, I wanted to make sure I had his name right. John Cho gives an amazing performance, and that's the thing about this movie is the performance for Searching is impeccable. He does such a great job. There is a story that constantly takes lefts and rights, and there's turns everywhere, and it is just marvelous. So please buy it. Don't look for it. Buy it. I'm seeing Anthony said he saw it in theaters. This would have been an amazing theater experience, guys. This was edge of your seat. As a matter of fact, check this out. Check this out. Here is, well, if you can, if it's going to let you guys see it. Somebody screenshot that if you want to try to get the digital. You can't see that, can you? Anyway, I'll give it away on my Patreon if nobody manages to get that. But yeah, somebody promised me they're going to check that out. They need to make a Searching too, because this movie was the real freaking deal. So any questions on that before we move on, just let me know. But Searching is a 10 out of 10. 100% a 10 out of 10. Check that one out. Okay, are we ready for the next one? Now, this next one, guys, is a found footage movie that I saw. I believe I either saw this one or the second one in the theaters. I don't remember, but they had mixed reactions. A lot of my friends that I've talked to usually are fans of this movie. I liked this movie because the camaraderie the characters had, and again, the use of the Skype and things like that. That is a movie called Unfriended. Now, Unfriended, I thought was pretty damn good. Not as good as Searching, but a worthy caliber movie to kind of be like a double bill to Searching. So this one, I remember it got shit on heavily by like the mainstream, but I think the beauty about the found footage genre is there is now this subgenre of like the Skype call, or there is this kind of more like online streaming type of, not streaming, but like online call type of subgenre with found footage that we're going to talk more about this, but I am a fan of this one. I like Unfriended. There is a shocking, to quote Gordon Ramsay, there is a shocking moment with one of the girls that are passed out drunk that they walk up on her. It's disgusting. But yeah, I like Unfriended. I think that there is some good performances in here. And I think it's very compelling. So I'll give it to Unfriended. And again, I also like its sequel, which is Unfriended Dark Web. I think I might actually like this one more because I'm fascinated with the dark web itself. I watched all kinds of like documentaries and craziest things found on the dark web online all the time. So I think that this is an interesting title. And I know a lot of people, they didn't go see, they didn't see this one. They were kind of like with Unfriended, so they didn't bother to check this one out. But I think Dark Web is in some ways better because it has some interesting twists and turns. And it's a shame. I think we could have gotten one more out of this series, But there are 3 alternate endings. I wish I could remember all of them. I really can't. It's been a few years since I've watched this one. I'm trying to see when this one came out. 2018. But Dark Web is a good one. So, all right, next. Okay, guys. Let me see what you guys are saying before we get going. Dark Web definitely had me checking my closet and shit. Did Amber Heard star in Unfriended? That's funny. Unfriended Reddit. They need to make that movie. Nicholas likes the alternate ending better. Remind me which one, man. Oh, you don't have to spoil it because I think there's a lot of people that probably haven't seen that one. I was shocked at how good Unfriended was. It was on Netflix for a while. Definitely pick that one up on physical media if you can. I thought Unfriended was a good take on the bully revenge that was popular from the 70s and 80s. I like both Unfriended and Dark Web. Unfriended and Searching have the same producer. Unfriended isn't that bad. It isn't that bad, just not great, but entertaining from what I remember. Yes, they are making a Searching 2 with Storm Reed and Nia Long. I'll definitely check that out. Is that from Harold and Kumar? Yeah, that is John Cho, I think, right? I think that's him. So I haven't seen the Dark Web one. We'll check that out, Justin. All right, guys. So this next one is top tier. It's one of my all-time favorites. This is a region-free Blu-ray. I want to make that clear. It will play in American players. I bought this off of Amazon. That is one of my all-time favorites. Grave Encounters. This movie kicked my ass. This movie kicked my ass. So Grave Encounters is about this, there's all these, internet shows of guys that are going into, haunted places and kind of doctoring things up and doing post editing to make things seem scary and having guys sell stuff and try to be funny and make things be all dramatic. And Grave Encounters is one of those situations where they go to this supposedly haunted asylum, and it turns out that there is some dark shit going on there. And there's this beautiful moment in Grave Encounters where they're trying to bust down the door to get out of the building. And when they bust down the door, instead of it being the outside of the building, it's at the hall deeper into the asylum. And they are like trapped in there. And there's seemingly no way out of this place. And they're stuck in this hell. Grave Encounters is atmosphere personified. It's one of the scarier found footage movies, and it's one of my all-time favorites. So this is a region-free Blu-ray. If you want it, it's from Metrodome. It's really good. So check that out. The not as good sequel, but still worth a watch, Grave Encounters 2. I like this one, but it's not as good. Chauncey Phillips is in Grave Encounters 2, because in Grave Encounters, they start showing all the people that were reviewing the movie Grave Encounters, and then you'll see Chauncey. Hi, guys. Chauncey Phillips here. Today we're just having a video to see what kind of new movies came out, see what things came out. So if you're a big Cool Duder fan, Grave Encounters 2 is worth your time. But it's not as good. They really got everything out on that first movie, to be honest with you. So they kind of retread, trying to get all that creep factor back in the second one. But it's still worth a watch. So I wouldn't recommend going out and buying this one unless you just want to own it. But I would recommend big time buying Grave Encounters, which I don't know. There's always it's always mixed online. Getting this one. Sometimes the DVD's available, sometimes it's not. I don't know ever recall seeing the American Blu-ray for this, but check it out. Grave Encounters 2. This one is going to be interesting. I just want to see what people think about this. So, Anthony's a big fan of Grave Encounters. Francis hasn't seen it. St. Francisville Experiment is always one of my faves. I don't own that, but Savoy, we're going to talk about that. Has anybody seen George Romero's Diary of the Dead? Now, this is one I have never talked about on my channel before. When it comes to the latter half Dead movies, a lot of people have only seen, Night, Dawn, and Day. I get it, There's a number of people that still haven't seen Land of the Dead, and Diary of the Dead and things like that. I actually like Diary of the Dead more than Land of the Dead. Now, you could take that as it is, but I actually think that Romero was like, hey, let me get in on this craze and see what I can do. And I actually thought he did a pretty damn good job. The problem is, I think it just gets compared to Night, Dawn, and Day. And I understand that. But for the subgenre, I actually think this is a pretty damn good movie. So I would actually recommend going out of your way to see George A. Romero's Diary of the Dead. Yeah, I think it's worth your time, quite frankly. And it's good that it's the Dimension Extreme label. There's like a certain like kind of quality with a Dimension Extreme. It's always good shit. So there it is. See what we got in the chat. My favorite found footage movie is House LLC. Smalls Kenobi, we're getting there. Don't you worry. Look at Christian Culling with the Mikey blanket. I got my AC running, man. It's cool. I got Mikey blanket, Mikey shirt. I'm always Mikey'd out, man. He looks so cozy. Can you review Hobgoblins? Maybe one day, Ethan. When I hit like 15K subs, I'll review it. Loop loves Diary of the Dead. John Kyle loves Diary of the Dead. Hobgoblins of the Dead. That'd be the worst movie ever. God damn. Best part of Diary of Your Dead was the mute Amish guy. Diary was all right. Zombie 7979 saw it in theaters. It's in the Dead series, so I was expecting more out of it. That's why I didn't like it. I wore that purple Halloween shirt on my date Monday night. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, it's Rudy. Anyone seen Creep? We're getting there. Let's move on. So let's talk about another series of found footage movies that, again, I think the first one is good, and the second one, honestly, is pretty shit. I'm not going to lie to you. I think the second one is garbage, but I'm going to talk about both of them. So the first one, which I think is good, is a movie called The House is October Built. Now, I'm hoping some people have seen this movie, The House is October Built. So there's a group of people that go and look for haunts and things like that. And they get a little bit more than they can bargain for in this movie. I've reviewed House is October Built if you want to go back and watch my review for it. But I think that this is a pretty damn good atmospheric movie. The House is October Built. I like this one quite a bit. It's Rudy said picked up Spree with Slip at Dollar Tree last month. Speaking of Dollar Tree, I wouldn't be surprised if this movie pops up there. I have these stores called Fred's that are kind of like Dollar Trees, only it's like $4 or $5 instead of like $1 or $2, which maybe Dollar Trees now are really stuff that's, you know, not even $1 anymore anyway. But regardless, The House October's Built is a good one. It's worth a watch. The House is October Built 2 is fucking terrible. I don't even know how else to say it, guys. They took a weird angle with this one, and it just sucked. It sucked bad. So if you just want to see it because you want to see them, that's fine. But I recommend going for the first one, and you could be fine not seeing the other one. But then again, if you want to see it for yourself, see it for yourself. I'm just telling you, I thought this one was garbage. And the only way I could tell you it's garbage is to give away the plot, which is detrimental to the first one. So I can't do that because I don't want to spoil it. But just, hey, you look for yourself. You watch it for yourself and see. You tell me. So the first one is money. Second one is pesos. Nothing. Nada. Zilch. I love The House is October Built. Second one was a letdown, says John. House October Built sounds promising. I'll watch it. Definitely watch it. Fred's. Hey man, you chunk of Fred. It's kind of like Fred's is like an overstock store that's like the size of like a Walgreens, and they usually have movies and stuff. Okay, speaking of garbage trash, John Kyle Stanton brought this up earlier. The Gallows. I hate this movie with a burning desire. This movie was lifeless. This movie was dull. This movie was completely uninspired, and it made a shit ton of money. Go figure. The Gallows made a bunch of money. I think there's even a second one. I haven't seen the second one, and I don't plan on seeing it. So I don't recommend buying The Gallows. I bought it because I didn't see it in theaters. So when it came out on home video, I was like, okay, it's found footage. I'm a found footage junkie. I've got to get it. So I got it, and then I hated it. The performances are pretty dry, and it's just pretty lame. I'm sorry, guys. Now, how about this? Let's talk about a freaking awesome one. Cardadention. That's a crazy ass name. Hits blunt. Yo, man, let's make a found footage movie, bro. Oh, man. I'm seeing you guys mention movies that I'm going to get to, so let's keep going. Okay, this movie is freaking tight. Has anybody seen The Bay? Now, The Bay was awesome. The Bay is so cool. Now, The Bay is about this small town where the water supply to the town is getting crappier and crappier, and there are these amoeba, leech, bacterial, mutating killer things in the water, and it starts killing people, mutating them, turning them into dead people, eating the fish from the inside out. The Bay is one of the most freaking badass movies ever. This is so good. I'm sure it's streaming. Please write down The Bay and check it out. I streamed it a while back, like maybe 8 or 9 years ago. Let me see when this came out. 2012. So I saw this back right when it came out, probably on Netflix, because Netflix used to be awesome and have stuff like this on there. Now we have 18 different streaming services that you have to have if you want to watch something. And The Bay was awesome. This was another one of those ingenuity, creative type of found footage movies with interviews like John Cowles talking about. Film Positive liked it. No, not Michael Bay. No, not Michael Bay. But this one is really, really good. Please go out of your way to check out The Bay. It's the real deal. So please mark that one down. Next, one of my favorites, directed by Adam Wingard, David Bruckner, Ty West, Glenn McQuaid, Joe Swanberg, and the Radio Silence guys. One of my favorites, VHS. Now, when VHS came out, this was a big deal. This took over the internet for a while. This is a great movie. Is it the best VHS movie? I don't think so. Is it the stepping stone to get to a better movie? I think so. They hit on something cool here, and VHS, I think, delivers. So I'm a big fan of this movie, VHS. Highly recommend checking this one out if you haven't seen it. I think a lot of people have, but this is actually a buy it kind of movie. I recommend buying VHS, actually. I would go straight into purchasing this if you haven't seen it. And there are more we're going to talk about. So, Ben Grimm, we're going to talk about that one too. Remind me which one Ty West directed in there. I'm just going to call you Card because I don't know how to say all that. Remind me which one he directed, because my favorite was the first one, the kind of like vampirous, alien girl, We're going out of order here, guys. So, how about this one? Now, this one I thought was pretty damn good. There were things I liked about it. Number one, which was the runtime. It was a lean 61 minutes, 57 or 61 minutes, depending. You're right, Card. That was the worst one in there. Host was a movie made during the shutdown. This movie was made during the shutdown, and it was all done. The scary stuff was done in post. I think that's really cool. This goes back to ingenuity, what the genre can be, and how there's actually less limitations than you might think. And this movie kind of proves that. Is this a great? Is this a great found footage movie? No. Is it a really good one, or is it a good one? I think so. I think Host is good. Host is on Shudder. So I like this one. So this is the quote unquote director's cut. So it's like 62 minutes, whereas you stream it on Shudder, it's like 57 minutes. Honestly, you're not missing much. I would just stream it. But it's solid. It's good. It doesn't take up too much of your time. They get right into it. Watch it late at night, though. Watch it late at night. So I recommend that. VHS was dope. She was a siren, had a spin-off movie about her character. Watching this in the UK after midnight just feels right. Great recommendations, making the list of ones to check out. That's awesome. What's up, Sam? How you doing? I had a bot come in. Naked HD XYZ. We have more cheap sex than Tinder. How you doing? That's awesome. Michael Bay gets a bad rap, man. He gives us explosions, giant robots, and hot babes. What's not to like? You know, I'm not in the Michael Bay argument on that one. I enjoyed Host. VHS 94 had some sick gore. What's up, Dave Vanderhoff? How you doing? Host was a nice surprise. The director has a new found footage movie releasing soon called Dash Cam that looks promising. Pizzile saw that, but he said he wasn't a big fan of it. So we're going out of order, but this was the latest one released, VHS 94. Now, I'm already seeing some mixed thoughts on this in the chat, and I think that's fair. Do I think this one's good? I think some of it's good and some of it drags. All right? I think Ratma is good, and I think the funeral scene is fucking awesome. Now, the segments after that, I think, drag a little bit. So it's kind of like a 50-50. But I think that the good is really good on here. So VHS 94 is going to get a thumbs up from me, but not everything is a home run. That's my consensus, or that's my 2 cents on VHS 94. The funeral scene was quite simply amazing. I thought that was well timed. It was spooky. It was just really, really good. So if you have Shudder, go ahead and check it out there. You don't have to pick that one up if you want to know if it's worth it. I would say stream it and then decide, because you could like the second half of it. I think the first half is certainly the stronger half. But VHS 94 is not the worst VHS movie, in my opinion. Next up, we're talking about a classic. Where's my tattoo? We're talking about a classic, guys. There's no denying. This movie is not overrated. This movie is not outdated either. I think it really is the real deal. Is it the heavyweight champion of found footage? Maybe. Nick, if you're talking about a code for VHS, these don't have codes. The Shudder Blu-rays, that they don't come with codes. Is this the great one though? Is this one of the greatest? Definitely. This is my Spanish Blair Witch release. Don't worry, Donovan. Don't you worry. This is one of my favorite releases right here, because it comes with Blair Witch 2 on Blu-ray. I did a video on this. I love this release right here. So you open this up, and then you get 2 discs, Blair Witch and Blair Witch 2. I freaking love Blair Witch 2 Book of Shadows. I love the fact that they didn't try to do the first movie again. They did something different. They did a very stylish, sleek movie, and I love it. So I don't know if this is available anymore, but it's one of my favorite releases I have. So Blair Witch Spanish Blu-ray release with Book of Shadows on Blu-ray. That's just so cool. Look at that. I just think that the Blair Witch is one of the best of all time. And I know that's a cliche. That's like, you know, It's like saying, "Oh, Halloween's the best slasher of all time." Everybody says that, and it's, everybody loves that movie, but I really think this is one of the best of all time. I fucking love Blair Witch, dude. It's so good. All right, so that is one stack of movies. Oh no, I have one more. Controversial movie. When this premiered on Shudder, people were fucking upset because there were animal deaths in here, and they did not want to see it. This is one of the most legendary films. Its reputation precedes it. Who wants to guess it? I'm going to see if anybody can guess it. Does anybody want to guess it? The Stoned Age made you a fan of Blue Oyster Cult Holiday Styles. It's one of my favorite bands. There's my Blue Oyster Cult tat. I have every album on vinyl. Massive Blue Oyster Cult fan. I'm already saying it. You guys said it. From the good folks over at Grindhouse Releasing. One of the most controversial films ever made. The director went to jail when this movie came out. The Great Cannibal Holocaust. You have to see this. This is history, guys. If you haven't seen this movie, you should be ashamed of yourself. Cannibal Holocaust is one of the most viscerally disturbing, amazing films ever made. It is ugly. It is cruel. It is mean. It is Cannibal Holocaust. I don't know. I don't have nothing else to add. What do I need to say about Cannibal? Its reputation precedes it. Cannibal Holocaust. And Eli Roth made his version called Green Inferno, which is vastly inferior, but still good. I like Green Inferno, but it's the light version of Cannibal Holocaust. So that is one stack of movies down. That's right. So Ben Grimm kind of talked about it. The director made the actors sign a 1-year no work agreement after it came out. When the film came out, he was summoned to court and he was jailed. He had to prove that the actors were alive to get out of fucking prison. I need you guys to understand that. Its reputation precedes it. All right, let's go to the next stack. One of my all-time favorites, guys, the great Poughkeepsie Tapes. The Poughkeepsie Tapes is dark, mean, nasty, and it's documentary style, which is probably one of my favorite subgenres of found footage, is like the documentary style. The Poughkeepsie Tapes is brutal. I love this movie. Now I watch it with an affinity and a love for how well it's done. So it doesn't fuck me up anymore. Now I love it. But the first time I watched it, I was home alone late at night. Sydney was out. I think she was visiting her family or something when her family would live far away. And I remember watching this by myself in a house alone at like midnight. And it fucking got to me. And the cool thing about Poughkeepsie Tapes is it was hard to see for a long time, which added to the creep factor of the movie. So the Poughkeepsie Tapes is top 10 for me. Top 10. Poughkeepsie, New York is the town it's referring to. And the creepiest thing about this movie, it's not a spoiler. The movie is about the killer in Poughkeepsie who films all of his murders. And the documentary shows like police and stuff talking to him. And at the end of the movie, the documentary is interviewing one of the cops, and the cop says, when this movie premieres and if this goes to theaters and stuff, we're going to be looking for him because we know he's not going to be able to help himself. He's going to want to see what he's done. So we're going to be looking for him. So watch out. And it's just like, oh shit. But let me go back to the chat and see what everybody's saying. CHH, does that version have the cruelty-free cut? I don't think it does. I'm not sure. So, guys, let's make one thing clear. I totally get people don't want to see actual animal death on film. I get that. And I'm not justifying it, but the rationale that Joe Bob was giving in the movie was the animals that were killed on screen were used as food for they're out in some third world country when they went to go film this. So the animals that were killed in the film were used as food. Believe that, don't believe it, I don't care. I'm just telling you that was the part of the justification of the film and the way the director has a beautiful interview about the making of this on the found footage phenomenon on Shudder. So watch that. With that being said, a lot of people prefer to watch Cannibal Holocaust without the animal death scenes. I don't. I know that when I watched this movie, it certainly had it in there. So they either re-released this. No, wait up. I think. Let me see. So here's the score. It comes with the score. Look at that artwork, guys. Feature film. You know, I think this one actually does have the. I think this one actually does. I'd have to pop it in, guys. I apologize. I wish I can give a definite answer on that right now. But I think Shudder as well lets you watch it without the animal death scenes too. I think they did edit that out. So that's a decision you should make for yourself. If you don't want to watch that, that's fine. Dan, since when I was in Toronto, I had a real encounter with the Rougarou. Oh my God. The Blair Witch box is badass. I tried to watch Cannibal Holocaust once. I haven't seen it because I cannot take real animal death on film. Green Inferno was a letdown. Red Flanders' mother's name, Agnes or Mona. Same here. I've watched it, but can't stand real animal abuse. They also killed animals for no reason. There's a Cursed Films episode on that. Still haven't seen it. I guess I should be ashamed of myself. Well, just check it out, Nick. I mean, it's part of history, for good or for bad. I mean, the story on the movie is so insane. The director legitimately went to prison because his government thought he killed people. That's how insane it was. Poughkeepsie was so hard to find for a long time. The naked sex bot is back. Your burger went through a rougher time. The turtle scene is wild. What's up, Dangertainment? I'm making a list. I've got the Bay. The House is October built in the Poughkeepsie Tapes that I haven't seen yet. I need to see the Poughkeepsie Tapes. Yes, you do. Smalls Kenobi says Poughkeepsie Tapes on Paramount Plus. Good to know. Moving on. This was talked about in the chat. This is one of the founders of found footage as we know it, and that is the McPherson Tapes, a.k.a. UFO abduction. So the McPherson Tapes, I just watched this today. Is it good? Yes. Is it great? It's one of those things where you're watching like the forefathers of what the genre would become. So this is one of those instances where I say this movie walked so Blair Witch and others could run. Is it acted well? Surprisingly, yes. The performances are really good in the McPherson Tapes. I like this a lot. You need to see it for history's sake. I believe the McPherson Tapes is available on YouTube, but if you want to support the film, AFCA put out this Blu-ray. Now, it's an SOV movie, but they did a really good job of kind of cleaning up the image very well, and the audio was very crisp and clear, which was good to see. So check out the McPherson Tapes. So, moving on. Oh, fuck yes. I'm so excited to talk about this. I love this movie. This is probably my favorite Adam Green film. Does anybody want to guess what it is? It's one of my favorite found footage movies. It is charming. It is so well done. It's awesome. It's an Adam Green movie. Does anybody want to guess? He's only done one found footage movie as far as I know. I know he did like a segment for Chillerama. He did Frozen, the Hatchet movies. Not Hatchet. There we go. Film Pause Reviews. Good job digging up the marrow or Morrow, depending on how you pronounce it. I love this movie. It is awesome. This is so good. So Digging Up the Marrow is, there's this weird guy who is sending all the directors letters saying, I know about these crazy creatures that live in the woods, and I want to bring you to them and show you them. Now, all the directors are like, this guy's fucking crazy. Leave him alone. They show Tom Holland. They show Mick Garris, and they're all like, what is going on? And the guy goes to Adam Green. And he's like, hey, I want to show you these crazy creatures. Well, Adam actually takes him up on his offer, and he goes in the woods trying to find these wild, crazy creatures. And it's charming. It's well done. I am a big, big fan of Digging Up the Marrow. So add this to your list. Check it twice. This is a buy it movie. This is a guarantee CHH approved buy it title. Huge fan of Digging Up the Marrow. Love it to death. So definitely check that one out. Gonna show this one. Was not a big fan of this, but if you're a connoisseur of the subgenre and you want to check it out, go ahead. Pizal recommended this one, and I can see why he liked it. I unfortunately was on the opposite end of that. I found it pretty dreadful, quite frankly. But that was a movie called The Collingswood Story. Primitive, but it was kind of like in that interesting time. This was the early 2000s, so this was using like it wasn't even Skype. It was like AOL video, and all about like this dark secret in the town and things like that. There is a certain dread to it, but there's barely any payoff, and I just didn't find it that good. But if you want to check it out and maybe see if it clicks for you, by all means, go ahead and check it out. I got this from Cauldron Video, which is actually a charming little release. But I thought this was pretty bad, to be honest with you. Was not a massive, massive fan of the Collingswood Story. But I was happy to support Cauldron Video. So, but check it out for yourself. I don't want you to not see it, so to speak. I want you to form your own opinion on it. The Legend of Boggy Creek deserves more respect. I don't own that one, Nick, but when I got done with showing titles, I was going to talk about some that I like that I don't physically own. Next, this was talked about a lot. I have started to come around to this. I used to not be a big fan of this because I was kind of like, well, I'm not a big fan of bigger budget found footage movies, and this would kind of account to that. But I actually think that there is something there, and it certainly has a fan base, and I'm not going to deny that. That is As Above, So Below. I can watch this one now and appreciate it. I had to let go for a while because I had this resistance to big budget found footage. And I say big budget found footage. This was put out by Universal. This was made by, Legendary. So it's certainly not a low budget found footage movie. And there was this thing where we were starting to see bigger budget found footage happen. This was one of those titles. But I think when it comes to that specific subgenre of like budget found footage, this is one of the better ones. So, big fan. I'm getting to be a bigger fan of As Above, So Below. So, good movie. Check it out. I think it's good. It just took me a while to accept that we have big budget found footage, so. Willow Creek was a solid entry. The last 20 minutes is some of the best. I don't know Collingwoods. I'm going to look it up. I didn't like it. I didn't like this one. I should give it another watch. The Poughkeepsie Tapes is queued up on my screen as we speak, about to give it a watch. I had no clues on Paramount Plus. It's really good. As Above, So Below made me dizzy from all the shaky cam. I had to leave the theater. That's a problem for people. Dude, I fucking love As Above, So Below. It's so great. Wasn't there one set in Egypt? I don't know. Sex Spotted is back again. Cloverfield was another big budget one. I always loved Deborah Logan in The Bay. We already did talk about The Bay, Garrett. I showed off that DVD. Fucking love that movie. It's so under. It is underrated, to be honest with you, because nobody talks about it. Nobody talks about The Bay, so it is underrated. What's up, Michigan Dipper? How you doing? Pizal likes everything except Chapter 2. LOL, a lot of anger buried deep for that. He fucking hates that movie. Did you talk about The Visit? Not yet, Bobby, but hang tight. Big fan of As Above, So Below. Jason Goes to Hell. It's like Indiana Jones, Jason Goes to Hell. All right, next, guys. I saw this movie when here's a creepy story. Here's a really creepy story. So one night I was looking up movies to watch, and I stumbled across this movie called House LLC. And I was like, I'm going to watch this movie. What the hell? They showed an image of this clown with this black eyes, creepy black blood-tiered eyes and stuff. And I was like, that looks pretty creepy. Let me check that out. I was mesmerized by House LLC. I'm going to say it right now. House LLC is literally top tier, upper echelon found footage, without a shadow of a doubt. It's top tier, upper echelon, without any, no doubt in my mind. It's one of the best found footage in the last 20 years. Fucking love it. So I watched this movie on Hulu or Amazon or something like that. And the singer in my previous band, it was Christmas time, and I was going to get him Silent Night, Deadly Night, Scream Factory Blu-ray. I bought it off of eBay. I never talked to the guy that I bought it from. I never talked to anybody about this movie yet. I get the package that has his Silent Night, Deadly Night from eBay. I wasn't using Amazon yet, and it feels thick. I open up the package with Silent Night, Deadly Night, the Blu-ray. They put this movie in here. I was fucking freaked out by this. I don't know how coincidental that was, but they had the DVD in there with Silent Night, Deadly Night. I remember opening the package late at night and looking around, being like, Sydney, what is going on? How did this person know I needed this movie? But this movie is amazing. It's on Shudder. Please watch House LLC. Please. It's fucking awesome. Francis Chainsaw, again, thank you for the $2 super chat. Shout out to the sex bot. Smalls Kenobi says LLC is amazing. It really is. Thank you very much, Francis. I appreciate that. All the money goes back into the channel, guys. I really appreciate the super chats. Sex dates, deletes Tinder, watch old people eat ass. So, this is kind of like a found footage movie. It's almost like a mockumentary, but it's really cool. This is called Brutal Massacre. Now, Brutal Massacre, if I recall, it's like this mockumentary about this director trying to make a shitty, good horror film again, and he can't reclaim the magic he had. He ends up doing it in the most ridiculous way at the very end of the movie. Gunnar Hansen's in here, Ken Faree's in here. I could be totally wrong and this was a movie, but I remember it feeling like a mockumentary. Brutal Massacre is really cool though. So, fucking hilarious movie. So check out Brutal Massacre. Okay. This movie was shit on so much. All I read about on Facebook, because at this time all I was on was Facebook, seeing people review stuff. This movie got shit on horribly. It scared the fuck out of me. My wife made fun of me for it. I don't care. The Visit, M. Night Shyamalan. That grandma was creepy as shit. I don't care what nobody says. That sundowning crap. Are you kidding me? The dad shitting himself and throwing all the diapers in the barn. What the hell? This is before I was buying everything on Blu-ray. I bought the DVD of it. The Visit, man. I like The Visit. I think The Visit's cool. But yeah. Poop diapers. The kid gets freaked out and can't move. Crazy grandma running under the fucking crawl space in the front. I think this is one of the better Shyamalan movies. I think the best Shyamalan movie is Signs, for the record. But I love The Visit. Brutal Massacre is kind of a mockumentary, yes. Visit is cool. Megan is Missing will fuck you up. I don't own that Blu-ray, but funny story. So, Megan is Missing, I watched that probably 10 years ago, guys. And I remember going on Netflix again. Same thing. 1 or 2 in the morning. And I put on Megan is Missing because the poster looks like a ripoff of Paranormal Activity. Same font for Megan is Missing. And I was like, okay, I'm assuming this is found footage. And I am the kind of person that if I see a found footage movie, I'm just going to watch it because I love the subgenre. It fucked me up. Megan is Missing fucked me up. And then probably a few years ago, I remember Piz was talking about it in some form or fashion. Like the movie found another audience again on TikTok somehow. I don't know what it was about, but it like gained a lot of traction on TikTok or something. And I thought it was cool because people were actually seeing the film. Now, the director has talked about that movie is a brutally harsh way of teaching kids, be careful who you talk to on the internet. The movie was supposed to be like the darkest kind of lesson you could do. So I like Megan is Missing, but it certainly has its detractors. And this movie's crap. I already reviewed it. And then when I reviewed Behind the Sightings, the makers of this movie messaged me. They commented on my video and made me feel like an asshole. So I'm moving on. Hearing all the kids' reaction in the theater to the diaper in the face was worth admission alone for the visit. Dude, you can smell those diapers, man. They smell like shit. Can you? Oh my god. Nick saying Split's his favorite M. Night movie. Yeah, Split's really good. There's a dollar store that always has The Visit. Dave Vanderhoff says The Visit is good. Bobby says M. Night Shyamalan is a good director when he has lower budget to work with. The Under the Porch scene was so creepy. What's up, Loki? Vision Film CHH is a legend. Poopy diapers gross. JK rants. It too has the worst CGI for a big budget movie I've seen in years. Unbreakable and Signs for me, says Anthony. So let's move on. We've got our last stack of movies here, guys. So this is a movie I saw on streaming, again, Netflix. But when this was when Netflix was it. If you were streaming movies, it was on Netflix. So they had kind of like the run of the place. And if you had a movie you wanted people to see, you got it on Netflix. It was just that simple. And it's one of the better ripoff movies. It's called Paranormal Entity. So look this one up, guys. I believe it's streaming in some places. Paranormal Entity. I like this one quite a bit. It's good. It's good. Came out in 2010, so right around they got right on the train when Paranormal Activity came out. They got right on it. So I like this one. No, I don't have the digital copy in here, in case anybody asks, but check your used DVD stores and check online, see where you can see it, but check out Paranormal Entity. It's good. I like it a lot. Strangeland Rules says Born to Be Red. People can lick 2-segment and Campfire's Tales. Stop me from talking to strangers online. Love Campfire's Tales. Love the DVD. Strangeland. I remember when I was a kid, they used the D. Snyder movie Strangeland to keep us from talking to people online in the late 90s. I love Strangeland. All right, so this is one of the most controversial ones. Some people fucking hate this movie. Some people love this movie. I fucking love this movie. That is Lake Mungo. I think this one is so creepy. Love Lake Mungo. This was another one where its reputation preceded it. People would talk about Lake Mungo and say it's really creepy and moody, and I liked it a lot. I thought they really did a good job. I mean, I watched this again late at night by myself, which is how I like to watch all my horror movies, alone and by myself, because I can't get my wife to watch none of this shit. But I love Lake Mungo. I'd say they need to put a Blu-ray out for this, but I mean, it's shot on video and shit, right? And it's shot standard def. Like, there's a nice Blu-ray out for it overseas, but how good does it look? Did they just make it Blu-ray because they had a bunch of special features on it, so they needed the room for the discs or not? I don't know. So this is probably fine for me. You know, I'm not going to upgrade this. I'm going to stick with this DVD. Francis Chainsaw Gimp says, yes, so good. I love Lake Mungo. The acting is good. Loop hates the cover for it. Scatterbrain didn't get the hype of Lake Mungo. Snooze fest for him. I think it's overhyped. And that's, yeah, totally get that, Scatterbrain. It's just one of those movies. It's one of the, you know what Lake Mungo is? To me, Lake Mungo is like Session 9. People fucking love Session 9. I can't get there. To me, I don't connect with Session 9. I find it very boring. I find it slow. I don't see any dread or atmosphere in it. I want to. I make efforts to try to become a fan of Session 9. I bought the DVD after seeing it on streaming. I buy the Blu-ray from Scream Factory to get the special features and try to learn more about the movie. It's just one of those things where Session 9 does not work for me. It does not work for me. I make efforts, and I think sometimes it's just one of those things where not every movie is going to connect with people. So, like Mungo does, but Session 9 does not. Just one of those things. If you had to choose between The Abyss or True Lies for Blu-ray, which would it be and why? Absolutely True Lies. I'm not even a big fan of The Abyss. That's probably one of my least liked James Cameron movies, J.K. Rants. Yeah, the alternate cover for the Blu-ray for Lake Mungo has an actual lake of water in it. Yeah, that's funny. There's Nick with $1.99 super chat. He says, simply for sporting the King merchandise. You know, dude, like I have like, the funny thing is I have like 4 or 5 of these shirts, and I get like big ones. I like wearing, I guess, sleep tees. I call them sleep tees, where I just get big, oversized, comfy shirts. And I have like 4 of these because this material, I don't know what kind of shirts these are, but I love the material. So I have like a bunch of them, and I'm always not 5 out of 10 times if I do a video or a stream, I'm wearing these. So thank you, Nick. I appreciate it. You want True Lies on 4K? I do too. I like the Abyss director cut more. So I don't really need to add too much about this right here, guys. Paranormal Activity, I just think that the first one is a masterpiece and the third one is a masterpiece. And then there's ebb and flows throughout the rest of the series. I think they're all worth a watch. But 1 and 3, I think, are some of the best that the genre has from this era. I'm not going to harp on this too much because most people have seen all these. These are very mainstream. So, yeah, let's move on. I mean, if you guys have any thoughts on the Paranormal Activity movies, I'll certainly see what you guys have to say about it, but I'm not going to harp on it too much because we've talked about Paranormal Activity in great detail on this channel, and I think we've done a podcast on it already. So, Luke says Mark 1's is amazing. Mark 1's worked for me. John Kyle, you son of a bitch. Thank you, John. I'm wearing a Session 9 shirt. That is hysterical. Oh my God. You're fucking hilarious, dude. Thank you so much, John. You guys are very kind. I really appreciate the super chats. Man. Horrible that they released it in January, not October. So this is one I'm actually... How you doing, DJ Donnelly? Good to see you, man. I'm actually really interested to hear the audience's thought on this one. I'll save my opinion for a few seconds. I want to know what you guys think about this film. I'm just going to hold it up. Let me hold this up for a few seconds. I want to know what the audience thinks about this one. I'm going to reserve my comments on this and see what you guys think. I saw this in theaters. I saw this in the theater. I was freaking excited. Over the moon excited about this. Peeing my pants. I think I actually pissed myself. I think I remember it was dripping down my leg. It was a mess. I made a mess of myself when I found out that they were doing this. So let's see what you guys have to say. Just in case you're confused, this is Blair Witch from 2016. The sequel. It's a sequel. It's not a remake. What do we think, guys? What do we think? Blair Witch. So I'm seeing Loopy says, oh, here we go. Daikatana says, trash, overrated. I see I loved it. Haven't seen it. Think the game was okay. I was excited to see it. I broke my phone on the way to see it, so that was a bad sign. I liked the last 30 minutes of it. Went into it expecting trash, came out pretty pleased. Haven't seen it. I like the original. It's an okay requel. Haven't watched it. Watched it once in 2001. Holiday, that's Book of Shadows. This is the one from 2015 or 16. It was a lot like that first one, nothing new. Just you saw the witch. I actually just watched the Blair Witch Project for the first time this year. I thought the character was great and had a very real creepy atmosphere. Own it. Still haven't seen it. It's a reboot like Crystal Skull was for Indiana Jones. So it seems like it's mostly middle ground, and some hated it. I am a middle ground guy. I thought it was okay. What did I overhype myself for it? Absolutely. I was over the moon. I was hauling ass to the theater. Hauling ass to the theater to see it. And I was let down. I was expecting the magnitude of the first one. I mean, I guess I was naive. Daikatana 65, Rings, or Blair Witch 2016. Rings is terrible. I hate Rings. I'd take Blair Witch 2016 easily. Easily. And then apparently Rings was the catalyst for a Friday the 13th movie not happening. It tanked. Nobody went to go see it. The reviews were shit. And Paramount was like, we're not going to put money into doing a Friday the 13th. No, we're not doing it. So, all right, let's move on. So this is like a found footage movie, but it's kind of not too. But I'm going to include it. Has anybody seen Antrum, the deadliest film ever made? It's like a documentary style, and then they show the actual film Antrum in the second half. This was like a really controversial film when it came out. I thought it was okay. The beginning's pretty creepy, but it's worth a watch. Antrum, the deadliest film ever made. Check that out, guys. I'm going to assume a lot of people haven't seen it. We're wrapping it up. We're getting close to the end. Got the Wreck box set right here. Any thoughts on Wreck, guys? That's right, Baphomet on the cover. I like the first two Wrecks quite a bit. Not a big fan of 3 or Apocalypse. Justin Smith, I would agree with that. I think Wreck is better than Quarantine. Not a big Quarantine fan. This is the Scream Factory box set. Wreck. All right, this is one of my favorites. Really hope people would check this one out. From the good folks over at Anchor Bay, Mr. Jones. The ending gets a little outlandish and over the top, but I think it's good and pretty creepy. Pretty big fan of Mr. Jones. If you see him, run. So yeah, check that out, guys. Mr. Jones is pretty cool. Journey into a Nightmare. Good stuff. The best VHS movie, in my opinion, VHS 2. Without a shadow of a doubt, is the best one. The cult at the end, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable. I thought they did an amazing job. So this is a buy it Blu-ray. If you haven't seen it, trust me, buy it. Not a big fan of Chronicle Ben Grimm. Quarantine 2 was garbage. I actually don't mind the Rec sequels. I wish Scream Factory would do more box sets like that. Rec 1 and 2 ruled. I got to get that damn box set. Never got into it. Rec 1 and 2 are so good. Rec is way better than Quarantine. Does Wrong Turn 2 count as found footage? I wouldn't say so, Scatterbrain, but I love it. It's the best Wrong Turn movie to me. Love Wrong Turn 2. M85 likes Rec. The worst VHS movie, in my opinion, is Viral. And I say worst. It's not terrible. It's not unwatchable. But I think they should have waited a little bit while longer to come up with some better ideas for this. Some pretty good ones in here, but nothing that crosses the threshold, I don't think. What are your thoughts on The Others? Are you talking about that Nicole Kidman movie? You know, it's been a long time since I've seen it. One of the best ever. Francis, thank you. Francis, you have a good night, man. Behind the Mask, Rise of Leslie Vernon. Masterpiece. Fucking love this movie. It's one of the best ever. Gotta show this one some love. It turns into a movie, but I think this movie is actually pretty brilliant. It's a Scream Factory Blu-ray. So, a lot of love from me on this, from me on this one. Dig it, dig it, dig it, dig it. Train to Busan and Wreck in the same universe. Train to Busan is one of the best movies ever. One of the best zombie movies ever. Love it. Did I like the Wrong Turn remake? I did not like the Wrong Turn remake. So this is from Scream Factory as well, guys. IFC movie. Camp Cold Brook. Pretty good. Pretty good movie. Danielle Harris is in here. So I like this. Good old-fashioned Camp Cold Brook. Kind of like they're the TV ghost people again. Some pretty good atmosphere in here. Danielle is great as usual. 2019. Check that out. So that is my stack of movies, guys. That is a stack of found footage films. Hopefully you walked away from that, or will walk away from that with some titles you can see and check out. There are some that I don't own that are masterpieces, like Creep. Creep is fantastic. I think we talked about Megan is Missing. There's this movie called Hate Crime that is really brutal. Only watch Hate Crime if you can handle it. Basically, it's about this Jewish family, and within a few minutes of the movie, this like kind of white supremacy, like Nazi guys come in the house, tie everybody up, and do horrible things. The director is a Jewish guy, and he was making the movie to show, it's brutal. That's all I'll say. Hate Crime is brutal. So just kind of prep yourself for that if you think you can get into it. But yeah. 2 people told me Train to Busan was the best zombie movie ever, and 2 people told me it was garbage. Holiday Styles, I loved it. I loved it. I think it was a really, really good movie. Thanks for the recommendations, Christian. Well, thank you for watching. I appreciate it. We're going to start wrapping it up, guys. I had a great time. I want to thank everyone so much who super chatted. I really appreciate it. That money goes right back into the channel. I also want to say, if I have Patreon and I offer music, behind the scene photos and stuff all the time, but if you don't want to do like a monthly thing, and if you ever want to donate to the channel, you don't ever have to, guys. You're no less of a viewer if you never donate anything. But if for some reason you ever feel compelled or want to donate to the channel, I have that thing on videos where you can comment a super chat, not on a live. It's like a super comment, if you will. That's there. You never have to do that, but it's there in case anybody wants to. Because I'll have people say, hey, man, I want to become a patron, but times maybe in a month or so, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, well, that's something that if they want to, it's like a one-time thing. You make a nice comment. It highlights your comment on a video like a super chat. That's there. I just wanted to announce that. So that's on my videos now. But you are no less of a viewer if you don't do that. Don't ever think that I need you to donate anything. But just know that all the money that you guys do donate to me, if you ever do, it goes right back into the channel. And God bless you. I appreciate it. What Danielle Harrell's gonna end up with Courtney Cox's face if she keeps fucking around. She's still pretty hot, Holiday Styles. No problem, Anthony. Hope you got some good recommendations. Thank you, Sam. Hope you guys had a good time. Smash that like button. I really would appreciate, guys, if you would smash the like button and share this video. Hopefully, you guys can come away with something from this video, because I wanted to actually do a live stream where we talk about titles and things like this. So thank you. Let's go ahead and wrap it up, guys. Thank you. I love each and every one of you. Thank you for hanging out with me tonight. I really appreciate it. I will stream again soon. Hopefully next week or something like that. But if I don't stream again for a while, I had a really good time on this one, and I appreciate all the generosity and support that you guys give me, and for hanging out with me. It means a lot. So have a great night, everyone, and we'll see you soon with a You Need a Horror podcast episode. Take care.